Review. Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Before we get into the greatest commandment and how it's in Deuteronomy, which is something I'm going to go over in the next video, let's just quickly review what we've been over here. So God basically tells the Jews that they must do the right thing or else the covenant is void. And he says it again and again. And that also goes for Abraham and his offspring. Later on in the New Testament, it says that God can raise up offspring for Abraham, from the stones. Same thing for, David, what have you. And after my flesh dies, people are sealed in hell. Now, why have they been messing with my videos? Why do they keep adding funny noises, changing my voice, adding clicking noises? Why have they been provoking me during my videos, causing me to cuss? So I make the decision to upload the video anyway. Because they're severely mentally ill. Okay? But they're mentally ill not as a result of some kind of genetic defect, that too, but that's not the source of it. Every generation they kept refusing to be smart, they kept refusing to do the right thing, and over time they became more and more decrepit and evil. Their genes are like festering abominations that get worse every generation. And then they use technology instead of seeking refuge in God, and God decided, hey, you reap what you sow, time's up. No people was ever chosen in that way in the eyes of God. People have to obey God, and they have to be righteous and cultivate being righteous. So you have all these immature white Jew and LGBT people. They're in cults, they're in fraternities, English royals, they're rabbis, they're priests, they're preachers. Okay, they're very, very sick people, very deranged people. They're especially LGBT people who are extremely sexually immoral, who like to play a stupid Greco-Roman game. Those people might be the main people doing it. They're up there somewhere. They're just complete scum. And they think that if they can harass people and abuse people and no one takes things seriously, it's easier for them to molest people. They want to mess up their people's genes, so it's easier for them to manipulate the brain so people feel like they're attracted to the same sex. Very deranged people, very sick people, and there's no other way to look at it, but God hates those people. Why? Because those people choose to be evil. If you choose to be evil, whether you're straight or gay, Jew or Gentile, and you act like you should be in charge, or you insist on being in charge, or you say you're chosen, or you come up with some mythology, or you're an atheist and you say that moral precision magically doesn't exist, okay, then God hates your guts. And it's not very hard to see that you're some kind of worm, some kind of dog, some kind of, slug, some kind of just low life, some useless and horrible individual that God hates. And because these worms keep trying to keep me from cussing, I'm going to overkill that it's fair for me to cuss, even if I just use the word for the Creator. It's fair for me to cuss if it is not deliberate, if it is how I feel at the time. So I'm going to say they are sons of bitches. They are disgusting people. They are the lowest forms of life. I will always hate them, and I will always persecute the souls of them and their offspring, period.